So I want to introduce the three chapters from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign: Andrew White and Jacopo DeMarinis. From Loyola, Lucille Symoniak. And you just met our chapter leader at DePaul, Samir Muhammad. I'm going to turn it over to these chapters to give you a quick review of what they've been up to, what they're looking forward to, and literally how I believe this age cohort will be leading the movement in short order. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you so much. I just want to take a quick moment to share my screen. We want to share some quick bits of information about our chapter. We are CAPA UIUC. I am Andrew White, as was just stated. I'm the Vice President of CAPA UIUC, and I'm here with.
Hi, I'm Jacopo DeMarinis, and I'm the co-founder and president of CAPA UIUC.
Yes, we are so excited to just have a couple of minutes to tell you about the things that we do. So just to run through a couple of things, we are focused on peace through justice, and we accomplish that through focus on our campaigns, which try to use policy to bring about the world we're working toward, which is a peaceful world that has justice in the form of restorative justice, and different forms of justice that make sure that we create a system of greater equality and equity. So just to give a quick overview, right now we're working on the Justice for Black Farmers Act. I'm campaign lead on that. And we're working on Chicago Department of Peace Building, a original piece of legislation thought up by Jacopo and a friend of his, and he's leading that one. In addition to this, I wanted to lay this out so that you could understand, or hopefully have some understanding of, our theory of change, which I'll turn over to Jacopo.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to tell you guys that right after the presentation, we will be dropping a link in the chat to our Chicago Department of Peace Building campaign and our Justice for Black Farmers Act campaign. Just so you guys can support it if that's something that you would like to do. So regarding our theory of change, we embrace a peace building and a justice-centric theory of change. That means that we support restorative justice rather than punitive approaches. We also really embrace transitional justice as a way to reconcile with our past and move forward while enhancing equity and justice for all. And we strongly believe in distributive justice, also within the context of the environmental justice movement, to make sure that everyone enjoys the resources that they need to pursue a happy life and a fulfilling life, and that no one is disproportionately affected by the effects of climate change, where we all can stride forward and address the climate crisis as one, while prioritizing the needs of those most affected by climate change due to distributive injustice. We also embrace conflict mediation to bring people of different political and beliefs together, nonviolence, and trust building. And we're actually organizing a bipartisan forum in late April to bring people of different beliefs together to discuss our two campaigns. And you can contact us at capa.uic@gmail.com if you're interested in learning more about what we're doing.
Yes, and to return to those campaigns, we wanted to give you all some quick updates. First, we have Chicago Department of Peace Building. Sorry, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Oh yeah, no problem. So with our Chicago Department of Peace Building campaign, basically it would advocate for the creation of a Department of Peace Building in Chicago, which would work to prevent violent conflict through a variety of measures, including promoting economic growth in disadvantaged communities, creating a truth and reconciliation program to unite city residents, and promoting peace education in schools to kind of enhance a culture of nonviolent conflict resolution in the city. And then, so at the top right is our basically a screenshot of our meeting with Cheryl Miller from STOP, or Southside Together Organizing for Power. We discussed the idea of a Chicago Department of Peace Building, and Ms. Miller was really excited by our campaign, and she subsequently shared some resources with us about different organizations to reach out to and the idea of a peace book ordinance, which is what Chicago residents are working on now to enhance justice and equity in underserved communities. So we learned a lot from that meeting. At the bottom is our meeting with Avik Das, who is the Executive Director of the Justice Advisory Council under Tony Freckwinkle, the Cook County Board Commissioner President. And we also learned a lot from our meeting with him. So we've been pretty active. Moving forward, we will continue reaching out to Chicago-based organizations to foster a coalition, to build a coalition in support of our department idea, as well as to learn more about what city residents really envision regarding violence prevention in the city and a more equitable city. So yeah, kind of what we are working on.
Fantastic. Quite briefly, I want to introduce the Justice for Black Farmers Act, a piece of legislation that is built around addressing discrimination against Black farmers that has had a horrendous impact on the livelihood and the percentage of farmers in the United States that are Black. We are particularly interested in the portion of the bill that would send a significant amount of land to Black farmers and also farmers of other marginalized groups, and relieve a significant amount of debt from numerous Black farmers and farmers of other marginalized groups. We've had the opportunity to meet multiple times with President Lawrence Lucas of the USDA Coalition Minority Employees, an organization that played a pivotal role in bringing the JBFA to Congress in the first place. And he has given us a fantastic perspective, especially a perspective coming from and being based in, oh, that's redundant, the interests of Black farmers themselves, which has given us a better way to try to advocate for their interests. And we're currently working on a letter writing campaign to try to support a congressional support for the debt relief that is still yet to come for Black farmers and farmers of other marginalized groups. Thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to us and for having us here today.
Yep, thank you all so much. And I'll be posting the petitions in the chat.
Yes. I just trying to stop this share. There we go. Thank you, guys.
Hi guys, my name is Lucille Symoniak. I am the president of Loyola CAPA's chapter. I'll share my screen with you. I made a little slideshow to share. So we are CAPA at Loyola. Like I said, I'm the president, and my wonderful vice president is Isabella Gates. She's in the chat right now. So thanks for joining, Isabella. She's helped me so much. So some things that we do at CAPA is we have craft nights. So here we were making posters for tabling, which is we just sit in the student center and make these posters and encourage students to come up and learn about CAPA. We wanted to recruit more people, and we did get a few more interested members, which was super awesome. So that's what we do here. Here's a close-up of our finished poster. Thanks to Isabella mostly for working on this. It looks great. So that's what we do with craft nights. We also had a Shrinky Dink event. And if you don't know what a Shrinky Dink is, it's basically this piece of plastic paper that you color on and you put it in the oven and it gets really small. They're super cute. So here was us coloring some for line 3. That's what we're focusing on this semester. So we have a ton of CAPA and line 3 Shrinky Dinks. Here's a close-up picture for you guys. It was a super fun event and it was a great turnout rate. And then here are images of us actually tabling in the student center. So as you see, we have all of our posters here to inform students on what CAPA is in line 3. And we had a little spin wheel where they could spin it and win a prize. So that was an engaging aspect for them to come up to us. And like I said earlier, we are focusing on line 3 this semester. So at the end of April, we're talking about line 3 at Loyola. We chose this as our campaign because we want to bring awareness to the harm and the damage that this pipeline does to Indigenous communities. It should be April 21st and 24th. The dates are to be determined. We're still figuring out whether we want to have this be an in-person or a virtual event. So if you're interested, please feel free to email us. Our email is loyolacapa@gmail.com. I can put it in the chat right after this. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and we'll let you know more information on that. And here is our Instagram as well. It's CAPA_Loyola if you're interested in following us and staying up to date with the things that we do. So thank you so much for taking the time today to listen to me.
Thank you, Lucille. Hello, everybody again. I'm Samir, president of Chicago Area Peace Action DePaul. Just give me 1 second so I can share my screen. Okay. Okay. So we've had a lot of great things this year. So prior to the start of the school year, we had an event called COVID-19 Behind Bars, which essentially we had a panelist of 4 different people, where we kind of highlighted just what is going on in the within prisons during COVID-19, just the struggles that inmates are going through and things of that nature. We had a really good turnout of 30 people, and it was a very educational event overall. Okay. And then, so to begin the school year this year, we had our first meeting of the year back in September, and we had 16 brand new members, which was very nice to see. And then 6 of these members are freshmen, so it's nice to see that we have a very strong, basically new generation of activists and organizers ready to go. So it was very nice to see that many people show up. And then one of our first events of the year was an online event, which was our Action Week. So essentially what an Action Week is that Monday through Friday, you highlight a specific topic that you're interested in and that you want people to be more aware about. So we had it from October 25th to October 29th. As you can see in the top left. And then some of the topics we highlighted was food justice, Chartwell's workers, which is the DePaul service workers. We also highlighted the humanitarian crisis and the hunger crisis in Yemen, as well as immigration reform, specifically highlighting Haiti. And then we also talked about the prison industrial complex as well. We had a lot of different things going around it, such as like petitions, sites for more information, things of that nature. And we had a pretty good turnout. We had a lot of people looking through our posts and just kind of supporting what we were highlighting. Another event we had was a teach-in. It was a thrift swap teach-in. So essentially what we did was we educated people on the fast fashion industry, just kind of like the negatives about it and how it affects our climate and our environment in general. So we talked about, like I said, fast fashion, positives and negatives of thrifting, mutual aid, community resources. And then at the very end, we had people bring in a piece of clothing prior to the start of the meeting. And then after we were done with our presentation, we had everybody swap clothes with each other as like a positive way to kind of make sure that we're not just like buying a lot of clothes and just storing them in our closet, that we're actually doing something productive and something beneficial with them. It was also another great turnout. We had about like 15 to 20 people. So it was great to see. So now actually we've kind of, if everyone can see the title right there, we've kind of shifted our focus from more community stuff to anti-war organizing. So we've been working very closely with Danica from Code Pink. I'm sure many people in this Zoom are familiar with her. But we've been helping her conduct this Quigley campaign. And essentially what our main demand is for this campaign is that we want our representative of this district, Mike Quigley, to stop taking money from weapons companies. He takes money from the top 5 weapons companies in the country and the world, essentially Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, General Dynamics, and he's taken actually around $50,000 in campaign contributions from these companies. So our main demand is to get him to stop doing that. And then we also have another demand where we want Quigley to co-sponsor the new Yemen War Powers resolution, which is going to be introduced very shortly, if it hasn't already. And it was a very great turnout. It took about a month or so to plan. We had a lot of big CAPA people. We had Danica on board and then some other organizations as well. We had some news outlets come to record us and to report it. It was a very great event for us, and we gathered a lot of attention around it, and we're still continuing to with this campaign right now as we speak. Just some pictures of the event and just us canvassing as well before the event, just kind of passing out flyers, educating people prior to the protest and getting them interested in coming to it. So for future plans, we're going to continue to our Quigley campaign. Most importantly, we have a lot of things planned for in the next couple of months, such as canvassing mainly, and then possibly another protest. We just have to start planning that soon. We also want to start back our DePaul divestment campaign. And we're working closely with SJP DePaul to get DePaul's investment portfolio released publicly. We also want to do a teach-in about food justice. And like I said, continue our Quigley campaign most importantly, and then various other small events like canvassing and tabling to kind of get the word out about our divestment campaign as well as our Quigley campaign. But that's what we have in store, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Samir. Thank you. So before I reintroduce Andrew to introduce the speaker running our first plenary session this morning, I want to mention, so how do you get involved if you're not on one of these 3 campuses, or if you're not a student organizing a new chapter on a campus? So I want to turn this over to Marcia Bernsten for just a moment to let you know about the 2 key working groups that are doing some wonderful work on in a few different areas. Marcia?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Marcia Bernsten, CAPA board member, as was mentioned earlier. CAPA has as we have the student networks, we also have working groups within the larger body of, as Jacopo likes to call us, Mother CAPA. And we have a really wonderfully vibrant climate working group that is working on line 3 and also has a very active campaign where they're working to get Chase Bank, which is one of the largest contributors to the fossil fuel industry in terms of funding, and we want them to divest and stop doing that. And so Catherine Bunton and Jack Kelly, who head up the climate group, are doing active campaigns once a month where they go to local Chase Bank and protest and try to talk to the folks on who work at that particular Chase Bank. We also have a foreign policy working group, and the foreign policy working group within it has some subgroups. We're working on Palestine, and we're working on with a divest campaign in Chicago to divest the city of Chicago from weapons manufacturers. Another section of the foreign policy working group, which David is heading, is working on the nuclear abolition campaigns. We have a Back from the Brink resolution that we're working on in Chicago City Council. But I know you'll learn a lot more about that later today. So, or is it tomorrow? Can't remember, but that's okay. Anyway, we have those 3 major campaigns that we work on. And then, with foreign policy, we're working with many other groups, Code Pink, Chicago Committee Against Foreign Racism, a little bit with, anyway, lots of groups. The world is not a safe place right now with Ukraine and whatnot. The specter of a potential nuclear war has come to the surface for the first time in 50 years. So that's kind of what the background of what we're doing in other things other than our student work. And with that, I pass it off to Andrew.